ta'ala wa barakatuh. No comprende? White people. White people.
A few moments later.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, a good afternoon, a good evening. I don't know where you guys are in the world, but I hope you're having a good one. And I know some of y'all are just like, girl, what did you just say? So Assalamu alaikum is peace be upon you in Arabic. So basically guys, the only reason I'm explaining this is because this is my reverse story and I know a lot of non-Muslims are gonna view this. So this is a little fact of the day for you guys. If you're Christian or Catholic or Orthodox or something like that, I know a good example of how to explain this to you. Basically in every service at some point the preacher, minister, whoever's giving the service will say, turn to the person next to you and say, peace be with you. So then, what you know, everyone around you will come shake your hand and be like, oh, peace be with you, peace be with you. So basically, Muslims say that when they first see each other, like as a greeting, instead of, oh, hi, how are you? They'll say, Assalamu alaikum, which is like, peace be with you, which is like a Christian version, except we do it every day when we meet each other. So anyway, guys, today I'm going to be talking to you about how I became Muslim, how I found Islam, why this white girl is wearing hijab. You know how it is. So anyway guys, if you want to hear my story, let's get to it. So guys, just a bit of background information. I am Australian born and raised. My family's history background is Irish Catholic, so all my family is from like Europe, mostly Ireland, and they're all Catholic, very strict Catholics. So when I came home and like, hey guys, I'm Muslim, white girls say what? They were shocked and surprised and to the least of things, not very impressed. But you know, at the end of the day, you gotta do what makes you happy, and Islam makes me happy. So anyways, let's start from the beginning. So, my family, my parents grew up with very strict religious parents, so when they had me and my sister, they didn't want to enforce any of that stuff on us. So we didn't grow up going to church often or anything like that. Until when I got to about grade 9 in high school, I had a lot of issues go on in high school with eating disorders, depression, anxiety, everything like that. And so my outlet was religion. I was always wondering, why do these things happen to me? Why am I here? When bad things happen to you, especially at such a young age, you start questioning things around you, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? What's the point? Otherwise, you end up getting very depressed and very upset. And if you've been through any of that stuff, you can understand where I'm coming from. And so in grade 9, when some of the bad stuff started happening, I went on a school trip, and it was to one of the rivers around our city. And we spent a few days there. And at night time, we were all sitting around the campfire, all us girls, and one of the teachers, he's so lovely, Mr. Burrows, I'll never forget him. And he started telling us about his testimony, which is how he became Christian, which was very dramatic and this massive story. And we were all like so shook. We were like, whoa, wow. Like legit, we were shook at like the story he told it. And I became so interested that night. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be Christian. Oh my God, I believe in this. This is the answer to all my solutions. But yeah, so that's how the story started. I went to him the next day and I was like, what do you do to become Christian? Do you gotta do something? Do you gotta go somewhere? Do you gotta say something? And he's like, well, basically in Islam we have the Shahada, which is basically the same as a christening, where you say, I believe in Jesus and the Son and the Father and the Holy Spirit and stuff like that. So I said that and I proclaimed that, and then from there on I started going to a Christian group at school, which was like once a week at a lunchtime, and we talked about heaven and hell and what we should be doing to be a good person. And because that's what all religions are about. They're about humanity and being a good person and trying not to do wrong. That's the main essence of all the religions. And that's what we started studying. And talking about hell and heaven used to scare the crap out of me. I used to walk out of, like after, I still remember one of my first sessions when they were talking about heaven, and I walked out of that lunchtime meeting like shook. I was like, what is real life? What is a dream? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I didn't know how to take it in my brain at all. So then fast forward to year 10, no, fast forward to about 6 weeks after that camping trip, I got really interested in Christianity. Like I wanted to know what it was. Like I'm not gonna just proclaim something that I'm Christian, this and that to the world if I didn't actually believe, if I didn't know A to Z what this was. So I don't know what came over me, but I googled my local churches, and my local church came up, and I don't know, this freaking, how old was I? 14-year-old girl rung up the church, and I'm like, hello, can I please speak to the manager? Like, girl, it's not a shoe shop. But yeah, I was like, can I speak to the manager? And you know, the main minister there picked up the phone, and I was like, do you guys have any prayer groups or something that I can get involved in the church? I'm a new Christian, blah blah blah, explain my situation. And he was like, yeah, we've got a Christian group down on Wednesday morning. So I got on my bike and rode down to the church, didn't know where it was. And I went into this room, and there was like all of these like lovely people. There's about 10 of us. It was more like older generation, because you know, not many kids our age, my age, are like very religious anymore, except I was the weird kid and was super religious. And so I started going to those Bible groups and started like learning the different verses and chapters, and I went there for literally 4 years. I went there, and then fast forward a couple years, I kept doing my Christian group, kept going to the church, living my life, doing my thing as you do. And it got to about year 12, and the question comes up in your last year of school, what am I gonna be when I leave school? And my parents' first reaction is, you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a lawyer, you're gonna be an engineer, because you know, your parents want the best for you, and if your parents have struggled through life, they want you to have an easy life, a good life. So the first default option is for you to have the best career that you can have, but no, I was the troublesome kid. And I wanted to become a minister, which is low wage, a lot of struggle, a lot of everything else that they didn't want me to go through. My parents were against it, but everyone else was kind of cool with it, and I was as well. And you know, I was actually gonna become a church minister. I mean, I was already preaching at my church, and I was preaching at a few other churches around my city, like full-on minister preaching, coming up with 40-minute sermons, you know, back in the day. And that was what I wanted to do with my life, because you know, I felt like all my problems kind of went away when all those things that I had been struggling with went away when I put my focus into this religion and learning that, you know, bad things happen in life, and you know, it's not your fault sometimes, and these things do happen. And you know, it really helped me, being Christian really helped me through those tough times. And you know, honestly, I literally don't even think I would be here today if not for that. So then year 12 rolled around, and yeah, I was gonna become a minister, and then it came to a gap year. I took a gap year after high school. I did a semester of engineering, but you know, I'm not smart. I'm like not smart at all. So I took that. I stayed at uni for about a semester doing civil engineering and then stopped. And I just needed some time out to kind of think of what I wanted to do. And I got to the point with Christianity where I'd looked into everything so much. I knew the Bible back to front, and you know, things stopped adding up for me. This is like, no offense if you're Christian or anything like that. You know, you should believe in something in your life. I think it's better to believe in some sort of religion and God than not to believe in anything at all, honestly. But the thing is, I knew the gospel back to front. And when you read some of the parts from Luke, Matthew, Mark and John, the same stories, they're rewritten differently. And I'm not here to preach that it's not true or not right or anything like that. I'm just trying to say that when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I was a very logical person and very straightforward person, and I'm like, I can't believe in this if it's not adding up, if 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. If 1 + 1 equals 2, it can't equal 3, if you know what I mean. So I didn't understand some of that stuff, so I started getting a bit more depressed, because I was like, oh, okay, so I was better, now I'm not again. I was kind of like, I felt like my world was falling apart, because for so many years that had been my life, had been my world, believing in God, and I was like, this is what's going to be for me for the rest of my life. And suddenly that started crumbling away, and I started getting more depressed, more anxiety through that gap year. And then I had no idea one day, and I had a really good friend for the past few years, and I gave him a call and I was like, okay, you're Muslim? He's like, yeah, I'm Muslim. And I'm like, you know about Islam? He's like, yeah girl, I know about Islam. And I'm like, alright, you gotta teach me. So he passed me on to his mum and his sisters, and you know, I would come over maybe once a week and sit down with them and talk to them about it and be like, okay, what's this? What's that? Why can he have 4 wives? Why do you wear hijab? Aren't you oppressed? Blah, 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 all these questions. And I'm just like, ah. And looking back, I'm just like, oh my goodness, you know, I'm so thankful I did that. Because I ended up learning like Islam and Christianity are so similar. You've got all the same prophets, Moses, Abraham, Jesus, everything. It was so similar. Like if you literally sit down for 10 minutes and look into it, you'll realize how similar it is. So fast forward a year, I spent almost a year with the family, like learning from the sisters and the mom and everything like that, like just going over there casually for dinner or something like that, and learnt more and more and more until I was like, this is a massive change. It's completely different to my culture, my religion, but you know, I think it's the truth. And yeah, basically I took my Shahada on the September the 9th, and no one was very happy about it. My best friends at the time did not act very well to it and cussed me out for it. My family weren't very happy about it either. No one was very happy about it at all. So, you know, it got to the point where I was like, you know, you feel, I have never felt so alone in my freaking life, you know, until you get to that point where it's like a test almost. It's like, if you really believe this, this is gonna prove that you really do believe it. If every single person in your life is against you doing this, you know, that's what it is at the end of the day. And there have been so many struggles with me becoming Muslim and wearing hijab and with everything else. But then again, there are bigger struggles in life, and there are people who go through more than this, but it was a big struggle at the time. And you know, alhamdulillah, my friends and family have adjusted to it and are finding it easier that I've changed. I mean, for spending 18 years being a white girl who does her hair every day, does her makeup every day, is bubbly and funny, suddenly decides to maybe stop wearing makeup and start covering her hair and dressing more modestly and not go to the beach and wear bikini, you know, it's a massive shock to your family and friends. And I can literally 110% understand that. But at the end of the day, this is what makes me happy, and I'm the type of person who needs to know my purpose in life. I need to know why I'm here. I'm the kind of person, it's how my personality works. I overthink things, I overanalyze things, and that's what I did with my life. I overanalyzed life. Maybe if I hadn't been this way, I wouldn't be Muslim, I wouldn't be Christian, I wouldn't be anything religious. But that's just how I am at the end of the day. And you know, I need to know why I'm here. I need to know what my purpose is. I need to know these things, otherwise I literally go crazy, and y'all don't want to see me crazy. So basically that's a rough outline of how I became Muslim. And you know, if you're thinking of becoming Muslim, don't rush into it. Don't do what I did. Don't rush into it, you know. Slowly adjust to it over a couple of years. That's how long it should take you, girl, not 2 months. I was wearing hijab before I even took my Shahada, you know. Like, you shouldn't rush this. You should learn things and think thoroughly for a couple of years, because you look around and you see what's happening in the world, and people don't have the best views toward Muslims, and I found that out the very hard way. And I don't think you guys should have to go through that, but you will if you do choose this lifestyle, this path of life. But you know, at the end of the day, this religion is about humanity. It's about doing good and being the best person that you can possibly be. And you know, if somebody doesn't want that for you, then obviously they're a little bit crazy. But seriously, if you're someone who doesn't understand Islam and is just here to hate, like, man, sit down for 10 minutes, look into it, look into what this religion actually is and what it says. Even if you're not Muslim, sit down for 10 minutes and learn what this is, what we believe in, so that you can understand the people better and understand why the people around you think the way they do. This is not like my normal videos where I'm like, hi, and bubbly. It's a more serious topic, and I hope you guys took something from this or learned a little bit more about me, and I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I'll see you soon. See you guys.